Hey, Jim. Hey, Melody. Welcome, guys.
Hey there.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. These are our typical Cute for Teams office hours. I am representing the team today as Ricardo is out on a little well-deserved time off. I do have a couple of topics that we can cover together if you guys are interested, and they're teams adjacent, but they are tools that typical Teams users are excited when they hear about new things coming to the GCC. So I have that on our agenda we can cover. And of course, as always, this is office hours. So if you guys have any questions, by all means, feel free to interrupt me and we can talk through some things.
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm sharing my screen now. I'll be looking over to my side monitor here, but it's the screen that you're looking at. I have Teams in the desktop client open as my mod administrator user, and this user was very excited to find out yesterday that Microsoft has announced that Planner has some new features that are available to the GCC. In fact, let me grab this blog post and I'm going to put it in our chat so you guys can reference it. If you didn't hear the news yesterday, this might be something that interests you both if you are Planner users. Are you? Give me a thumbs up if you guys use Planner.
Hey, so I'm going to just say I am driving, so I'm going to be silent most of the time.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm thrilled you joined us. And I'll try to give some audibles on what I'm doing as well, Melody, to help.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I'll go back and watch the recording. So I was going to say, honestly, I haven't found Planner to be as robust as I would like it to be. So I'm hoping that these changes are going to maybe answer some of those things that I wanted to see.
Yeah, I would definitely consider it to be a lightweight project tool. Certainly we have Microsoft Project for some of the heavyweight project tracking, but Planner can sometimes meet a niche project need where, you know, it's a short-term project or even just ongoing tasks. Planner is very helpful in tracking those kinds of things. Welcome to the call. You may miss Ricardo today. He is out on some vacation leave. So in his absence, I thought I'd take us through a couple of announcements that were made this week that might be exciting for you. First up, I'll go ahead and dive in now. I've shared a link in the chat about the Planner enhancements that have come recently to the government cloud. Right front and center in those few enhancements that were delivered is the ability to get notifications out to folks automatically when you assign them tasks. If you've been a Planner user in the past, you may have noticed that the notifications have left a little to be desired in the GCC, and that's because we were waiting for a key API to land and be available for our use in the GCC. And now that it is, when you assign a task to someone in a planner, they will automatically get an activity notification, and that activity notification will give them information that a task has been assigned, and from there they can link directly to the task and report information. So I wanted to do a quick demo. I also shared it on my LinkedIn yesterday in case you didn't see that. By all means, you have an image file. I made a little GIF to demonstrate what that looks like from a user perspective, but I'll take you through that now so you can see. So like I said, I'm in the Teams UI in a desktop client here as an administrator, and I set up a planner here yesterday to test this out in my demo tenant, and I assigned a couple of things to Johanna as a test. And Johanna is a demo user in my tenant that I can play with and take on her persona in order to experience these things and test them out. So I'm going to launch the browser, and Johanna is in the Teams client in the browser, and you can see that she has an activity notification So I'll click on activities because as a Teams user, that's where I'm going to land and get all of the information about what I missed the day before. And I can see that that most recent update for me, that most recent activity notice was about the task being assigned to me yesterday in Teams. So that is a fantastic new feature. Like I said, if you were a planner user, I'm sure that you have missed not having notifications out of the box, but they're there now. So let's also go in and I'll take on Johanna's persona and I'll assign a task over to my mod administrator so you can see it full stop. So I'm going to click on Teams. These two users are members in the Office of the Mayor team. And in this team, we have one channel right now, and that's just the general channel. But this is where we have our project tracking, our planner for this group. And here I can add a task. I have not made a whole lot of adjustments or tweaks to this planner. It is right out of the box with the to-do bucket, and I can add additional buckets. I haven't done that yet. For purposes of this demo, I can just add a task. I can enter a task name. So I think what I'll call this is a daily report. I can set the due date for Monday. And I can assign that. And I'm going to assign it to my account that's open in this window. Okay, so over here, I'm Johanna. And over here, I am that administrator. So I'm going to assign that task. When I click Add Task, that's when the notification is going to fire off. And to help you to see where it's going to go, watch this activity button over here when I click Add Task. Well, didn't I just name it? Oh, here it is. Yep, update daily report, the mod administrator with the deadline of Monday, and mod administrator got that instantaneous notification. So in that persona, I'm going to open it up and I can see that Johanna assigned me a task. When I'm on this notification, it brings that task up. I can immediately start updating it if I need to. So that's just a wonderful new feature. I was very excited to see that. The fact that it is sending notifications in Teams, I think, is very powerful. Hey, Jim, you have a question?
I do. One of the drawbacks that I encountered with Planner early on was if you had a task and you were assigning it to multiple people, that when one of the persons on the list had checked that they had done it, it somehow kind of devoided it for everybody else. And I don't know if that was user error on my part in terms of setting it up, or if that was a limitation in Planner. So in this example here, if it were a task that you were assigning to a group of people, for example, we're working now on trying to create some type of standardized onboarding experience. And so I'm thinking that Planner could be a potential use case for that. But I don't know how you do, assigning individual tasks to a large group of people without having to replicate that.
Right. So your intention was that that group of people wasn't trying to accomplish one task, but rather they each had to accomplish their own version of that task.
Spot on. Yes.
Okay. Terrific. Well, I think what I would like to do is a little testing on my side to see how the behavior is. I would imagine if you assign one task, that there could be that same behavior that you've already experienced. I do not think that this enhancement addresses that, but I think we may have a way let's take a look really quickly together, because I know that one of these new enhancements, and I know this is probably going to be very hard for you to see if I don't make it bigger. One of these enhancements is some task publishing options. So this may be what we've been needing in order to accomplish your use case you just mentioned. Okay. The ability to create tasks centrally at one level and then publish those tasks to targeted folks. Of course, the use case here mentions stores, clinics, or factories for frontline workers, but I would imagine you could create a class of your new employees and have them receive these task publishing features. So I'm going to take a look at that, Jim, and get back to you, because I do think we have new ways to accomplish what you're after. If you assign one task to many people, it is just trying to make sure that that task gets done once.
Right.
So we need to find you a way to either create additional tasks automatically that would assign across individuals when you want to create one task, or leverage some task publishing. Now I see your hand still up. Did you have an additional?
No. I'm sorry. I was so engrossed in what you were doing, I completely forgot.
Yeah, that's okay. Now, just a quick reminder for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, I'm going through a couple of new features in the government cloud that I consider Teams adjacent, and they're not exactly 100% Teams solutions. Like, for instance, this feature set that's new to Teams is because Planner has been updated, and the information that I'm sharing on my screen now is a blog post that I've put in the chat. I would definitely encourage you to reference that if you're a Planner user, because there's some brand new things that you can take advantage of in the government cloud when it comes to Planner. So take a look at that. Jim, I've made a note of your use case, and I will definitely take a further deep dive and perhaps set up some multiple personas with Ricardo's help, and we'll see if, oh, Christy, sure, I'll share it again. Let me put that in there. Okay, hopefully you see the update I just posted in the chat as of 11/12, a new link there. If not, I can search. Oh, good, you got it. Now, the additional topic that I wanted to cover today that's also Teams adjacent is that as part of these new feature sets that are coming to the government cloud, it's lit up some additional features in other areas. So if you use Microsoft Forms quite a bit, you may have missed a feature that allows a file to be attached. We've had that in the commercial cloud for quite some time, but we've had a limitation around how that file attachment is done in the government cloud to make sure that it meets all the security requirements and the compliance requirements that we have for you. And so we are happy to announce that we've cleared some big milestones to bring you file upload into your forms that you create. So I'm also going to share a look at that quickly here. So I'm still logged in my Johanna persona. Johanna uses all of Microsoft 365 all the time, so she has access to Microsoft Forms. From the Office portal, I'm going to launch Forms as Johanna. And when I go to create a new form, if you've ever gone through this process, you will see there's some additional options here that you did not have before. And just to give those of you who may be new to Forms a little preview, you can create surveys, polls for your meetings. We now have Forms integration in meetings in the government cloud as well. So what you're seeing me do here, you can also integrate into meetings, which is really powerful. So I'm going to create a little form just by using the editor here. And then I'm going to click Add New in order to add new questions as they need to be added. The default choices here, we've always had these 4: choice, text, rating, date, and we have some new ones, some additional features. One of which was highly anticipated, and that one is this file upload. So think about the use cases there. So if you have a form that you are publishing that you want folks to submit cover letters for, or resumes for, or documentation, scanned images, anything that you might want to generate an input file for, you can do so through Forms now, but because we have this feature. So once I add it, you'll see that Forms tells you a new folder is going to be created in OneDrive, and the files uploaded by the responders will be captured in that folder. And so the names and the file details will automatically be recorded in OneDrive when things are updated or uploaded. We do have some parameters here that will set guidelines for these files as they're being uploaded so that you can guarantee you don't get a file that is way too large or the wrong file type. You have some governance here that you can put in automatically. So I'm going to put some quick text in here so you get the idea. And I can indicate if I'm going to allow multiple files to be uploaded in this one question. And I can also indicate a single file size limit. So if I want to govern that very tightly, I may keep that at 10 megs in order to make sure that I don't get, PowerPoint files or enormous files that I can't manage in my OneDrive for one reason or another, or I only allow those larger files in certain circumstances. And I can define that, fortunately, because this feature includes those options. So because I'm just looking for a letter file here, I'm just going to leave it at 10 megs. That should be more than enough. And I can also say if it's required or not. Let's say this survey has an additional 10 questions. Each one of those prior to it may have been required. If I need to require that this file accompany the survey, then I can select that. That means that the participants in the survey cannot click submit unless they fill out all of the required fields, this included. Now, we also have a couple of additional options here that are going to be key. You can include a subtitle, meaning you can allow them to enter more information rather than just the file name. You can also require a certain file type. And I think that this is going to go a long way in ensuring any governance that you need to apply to these files that you accept. You can require that the submissions be Word files, Excel files, PowerPoint files, PDF files, an image, a video, or an audio file. So you have the ability to scope what types of these documents or files you're going to accept. And I would definitely encourage you to do that, because if you don't specify, then folks will be able to upload any number of things. And I'm sure you would not want to govern some of the types of files folks could upload. So keep that in mind. You can scope the file type here. Also, and we've had this in forms for a while, but I do want to cover this additional option, which is to add branching. So based on someone's responses, you can give them different versions of the survey. Of course, that applies here for file upload as well. Now, in this one, recall I just said I only wanted them to upload one file. I have the option to upload more files into this one question, or if I have different types of files that I want to request. In fact, I'll go ahead and deselect Excel. So let's say our cover letter is one or two files. Typically, it's going to be a Word file or a PDF file. So I can specify that. And then if I wanted to do another one with some different governance settings, then I could say sample and have them submit this one using Excel or PowerPoint. And that way, by separating the questions, I can govern the options separately. So keep that in mind. But whatever settings you apply on one question are going to apply to the multiple files if you allow multiple files into that one question. Okay. So I think I covered all the options that were available there. Do you have any questions or thoughts about its applicability? Hey, Jim, go ahead.
That is absolutely fantastic. Incredible stuff. The one question I have is, I didn't see how you created this form, if it was an individual form tied to your account or if it was a group form. And does that really matter with the capability of this?
Yeah, I created this as an individual form. I'm just logged in as Johanna. It's set to me. I do have some ability here to share and to collaborate on the editing part. So I could give broader rights there. But for now, these files, when the submissions come in, are going to go to a automatically created OneDrive folder on Johanna's OneDrive.
Okay.
And
both the response files uploaded to both of those questions would go into the same folder.
Correct.
Okay.
Because let me make sure, actually, let's do a quick look. Yeah, it gave me that one notification that there was going to be a folder created when I created the first question that contained a file upload. I wonder, now I have not published this, nor have we received any responses. We could go ahead and do that. Let me do share. I didn't make these required, right? Nope, they're not required. That's good. So I'm going to copy this and let's go as mod administrator. And we'll complete this. And then we'll go look at Johanna's OneDrive. So I'm going to upload a file. I may not have any to do, so let's do a quick Word doc. Hang with me for a second, y'all. We'll get this done. Okay, let's see. I'm probably making you dizzy. I apologize for clicking around so fast.
No, that's fine. It's the little things that you take for granted sometimes that.
Okay, oh good, I do have a couple of PowerPoints and things here. So let's go back to my form. You know, I wonder if this is happening because this demo tenant is not pointing to the right OneDrive. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Let me see if I can do it a little bit differently here. Okay, there goes one. And we'll do the work sample. And question 3 wasn't required, so I'm just going to click submit. Okay, now that that is submitted, we have one response. Let me switch to Johanna's view. We received one response. We can see her documents that she submitted. And I can view them here. And then we'll go to Johanna's OneDrive. Okay, so that did come through. Johanna can open it. Let's go see where this stored it for us. Okay, so just to recap, I'm in Johanna's OneDrive. I'm on office.com. I'm going to go over and take a look and see where Forms parked those files. for Johanna. Ten minutes ago. So here's the document that came in. Submission form with attachments is here by question. Ah, that's a good thing. And if she looks by question, she can see she's had one submission.
Is there any identifier of that submission to the submitter?
It looks like it named the file because when I uploaded it, it was just named document, right? So it appended the username to the file name. See, mod administrator is my username.
Okay.
Okay, so it did that by default. You can see it here too. In question 2, I uploaded book 2 and it appended my username to the end of the file name.
So is that contingent on the settings in the form as to whether or not you wanted it to be anonymous or?
No, it specified in the form that it was going to show the username. Let me go back to, let's do a new one really quickly so I can show you that again. So if I do a new file upload, it gives me this message as the default. Now, it could be that there's additional features coming. We see how these features are rolling out. It could be that they're working on an anonymous option, but it does say, note that responder names and file details will automatically be recorded.
Okay.
I posted that notification in the chat as well, so you can revisit it. And of course, just by going to forms today at your agency and clicking new and going through this, you'll get this message the first time you do a file upload in any of your forms.
Great. Is there the capability of, I was trying to get people to vote on their favorite image for a logo or something that we created. Is there the capability of having that as part of the question itself in terms of the responses? I had thought that I had seen it in there, and then when I went to do it, I couldn't find it anywhere, and I thought that's what you were going with this. But this is an even better option than what I had in mind. So,
yeah, I see what you're asking. I wonder if
like it can add an image to the question itself, but it didn't look like you could do it to the responses.
Yeah, I don't see that there's, oh, here you go. So on the Likert scale option, I don't know that I have an image. Let's see. I don't have anything, shoot. Well, envision this with me, Jim, and I can test this too. But the type of question I did was the Likert scale, wasn't it? Or was it this one? No, Net Promoter. So Net Promoter is an option that you could type a question in. I wish I could get it to grab an image so we'll see what it does with it. Maybe we'll just create one real quick. Okay, so I have an image now. It's not a great one, but it'll get the job done. So we come in and let me upload that PNG file I just created so that you can see what your options are here. And then they can, you can tweak these. I hate it. I love it. And have them rate on a scale. And I would imagine you would just create additional, like if you had 4 logos that you were trying to get folks to vote on, that might be a way to accomplish it. They could indicate their level of likingness, and then you could choose the one that had the highest like rating.
Okay, cool.
So
Is
that
that
may
new, or
be
has
a
that
new
been there?
option too. What's that?
Is that new, or has that been there?
I think it's new.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I hate to think that something was there and I just didn't know about it. And
No, and I'll tell you, I don't have a tech community blog that I can share with you on this forms update. So I imagine they updated more than just giving you the upload file option. I bet this is a new option that's available.
okay.
Georgiana, yes, everything you're seeing today, I am driving from my GCC tenant.
If a blog post does become available, would you be forwarding that out, or?
Sure. Well, I can definitely share it to you since I know you're interested. And I keep an eye on those public sector blogs at least a couple of times a week. And there's always great stuff showing up there. So.
Okay, we're trying to create a peer-to-peer learning team, and it's primarily focused at this point on technology. So I've shared this meeting out to it, and I will likely after this share the blog with the Planner app, because they were excited about Planner prior to this. This will make them even more excited.
Well, awesome. I love to hear that. I see we're at time. This recording will be available at the usual place. I'll work with Ricardo to get it all prepped like he normally does and posted probably early next week. And then we'll, of course, have our ongoing Friday meetings like we did today.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining, you guys.
Thanks, Stacy.
My pleasure. Be safe on the road.
Now I'm sitting here waiting to de-invite all day.
Well, bye, everybody. I hope you learned something, and I look forward to working with you guys soon.
Bye.